just younger generation in general, and maybe for myself. And whenever I number one is don't masturbate. If there's any youngest in society quite often, and they make a joke of it in order for young kids or young teenagers to like go about their life jacking. When you get older, you're gonna realize that in order to be successful, you got to do what everybody else does, and only the people self. But if there's one thing for sure that I can tell you, don't masturbate, because it messes up. First of all, for one, it messes up your perception and conception of women. No sexual scene actually occurs the way that you see in porn. Nor will you ever have some kind of sexual fantasy come to life between you and a woman the way that you envision in your head. Maybe a couple times here and there and in your young times, but as you grow, the odds of that really occurring are like, I don't know, 2 out of 10. Really, it's very very limited. That actually doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. It really doesn't. And the more that you actually masturbate to this kind of porn or specific things, you're going to envision and act like that's going to actually happen in real life. And it's going to affect your relationships with women too, because you're going to expect this woman to just be all knowing and knowing of like your sexual fantasies. But the reality is she doesn't know any of that. And so you're sort of projecting onto women as well, and that's going to affect your relationships. And you may think that it's nothing, but it's going to affect your emotions as well, because you're not going to feel complacent with the woman that you're with if she can't satisfy your sexual desires. But in the reality, nobody could satisfy your sexual desires because they don't know them. And two, it's going to make you very shy in front of women. Masturbating, you're not going to be the alpha male, the sigma male that you aim to be. You're not going to be the confident male that you aim to be, because you're not going to see confidence in yourself. Good looks, it begins with you. um, Good looks, charm, it all begins with you. And if you're not charming like myself or good looking like myself, then hey, chill. if if you don't if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody's gonna take you seriously. That's just the gist. You need to know that you are confident from within, from the outside, and that all begins with you. If I look at the camera and I say, I have beautiful eyes, well, I know I got beautiful eyes. I know I got a good jawline. I know my teeth are here, this, there. Or that cost you money in order to take care of yourself, to know that you're there. And the only way that you're going to want to take care of yourself, if there's a reason why, and that reason has to come from within. If exercise is that way, well, there's a grit that comes with doing exercise. You sacrificing your time, and it's also hard. You sometimes don't want to go to the gym, but guess what? When you go and you leave, you feel so much better. You don't want to waste that money to buy that deodorant or buy this exact cologne for yourself, or pay for your eyebrows to get done on a half a weekly base. But when you do, you look better. You've taken care better of yourself, and that reflect not only to other people but to yourself, because God open to more people on the outside rather than you. And eventually that becomes a normal thing, responsible man, but that you take care of yourself. And women love, responsible man, but that you take care of yourself. And women love that as well. So that's another thing. If you masturbate a lot, you're not going to be focused on these things because you get that immediate pleasure. I have the ability to go on my phone, look up, I don't know, whatever. And I don't need to get the hot girl in real life. I don't need to get the blonde girl that I'm looking at down the block, whatever. I don't have the need to talk to her because I can get her on my phone. And that's going to mess you up. It's going to very much mess you up. It's going to mess up your communication skills too. I've always prided myself in the ability that I have to speak to people, and that's just a natural thing that I have. Some people don't have it, and I've gotten shut down or failed a couple times. I've choked up a couple times too, and that's the beauty of it also. When give me 1 second, I get some air, it's kind of hot. When you don't take that risk, some air, it's kind of hot. When you don't take that risk of walking up to said girl or speaking in that said crowd, you don't take that risk, you're robbing yourself of the ability of the next level. When it scares you, you have to do it, because 9 out of 10 it's not going to scare you as much the next time. And so that's one thing I've learned. You just got to be ballsy and do the shit, because it won't hurt you. It really won't. And you just got to do it. I've choked many times. Like, I've thought about going up to a girl and then the last second I didn't. Well, I learned it was a lesson. Either I wasn't ready yet, I wasn't at my potential, or it was my fault for having done something that I could have done better, that didn't put me in the same kind of aspect, like the same zone as her. So that's just big. And when it comes to third, when it comes to like don't masturbate, manifesting your intentions. I'm not sure if any of you at this point will be spiritually inclined. And when I mean spiritually, I don't mean like religious wise. I mean more internally inclined to pinpoint what is going on from within you, and to realize these things spiritually. When I'm talking about your soul and how you look at yourself in comparison to other people, the chakra things. Watching this because it really messes me up, makes me nervous whenever I see people. So I need to be better at that too. When it comes to visualization and being useless, you're not really meditating on your goals, manifesting your goals. That's a big word, manifestation. You're not really doing a lot of that, because your attention, your desire is in withdrawn and taken by sex and vanity and the wrong things. So that's massive. Two of the things that I've learned at the age of 23 is talk less. I used to be very talkative, and I was the one of my friend groups who would encourage the others, and I would try to do this wave, man, do this. Around here, I started the stocks. I was the one mentioning stocks. I was telling my friends, hey man, do this, get this, man, get this. Here's how you do it. I'm gonna show you how you do it. I'm gonna show you how you do it. And down the road, but you spread yourself way too thin trying to provide everybody with the right information. You're spreading yourself way too thin. Another thing that comes with that kind of spirituality aspect is people foil your plans. When you decide to divulge information to other people, information is very sensitive, and anybody with the wrong negativity or with the wrong perspective on your information can taint your plans. So you have to be very tactful that you care a lot about. So shut your mouth and do work behind the scenes. If some videographers, photographers, news reporters happen to come across you and they do that, great. But don't share anything until it's done. Third, a lot that you hate is you. And what I mean by this is that you'll see a lot of things that bother you is because that is your personality. If you see somebody that is boasting and boastful, prideful, and you hate those characteristics, it's probably because you relate to those characteristics subconsciously, but you don't realize it. These can be cues for you to work on things that you need to internally. So what I do is that's exactly what it is that I dislike about it, and I try to introspect into myself and figure out what it is in me that I really don't like. Because usually that's how you work on things. We're more blind to the things that we are than to the things we see. We like to believe that we are this good character, address things that we don't like about ourselves because you don't want to address them. That way you don't know them. So I use it as a good way to see them. Usually when it pisses you off, you're the same way. So that's just 3 things right there that you can think about and sit over. That's my piece of advice for now. For anyone 18 years or younger, or even older. We're all at different time zones in life. So drink water, man. Like this video. All right.